Hi folks, welcome back to my channel again. I'm back with a new video again. Yes, today we're starting with a new series. Okay, we have so far completed Applab series, right? In that we just understood how Applab works and we have created few apps, right? Yeah, maybe in the future I will be getting more videos in my Applab series, right? But yeah, after this Applab series, we have created few games on the games with events category, right? So today we are again starting off with the programming concepts. I felt like you as a programmer has to understand. So you as a programmer has to understand programming things, right? So we have to understand programming concepts, and only then you will be able to actually get through this programming or coding thing, right? So I thought of for the next few sessions, we will be discussing about some very common and very basic programming concepts for you all guys to understand how the programming concepts work. Okay, so very basic things we will be understanding as far as now is concerned. Okay, why? Because you can actually understand whatever the program I'm writing, so you can understand it better. Okay, so just for the reason, I just thought we have to do this series, and I'm gonna start with this series from today, right? So I just thought of today I will be discussing about variables because we already have discussed about variables a little bit in our previous sessions too, right? While we were using in the app creation. So it's not like that today. So I will be actually executing the program today, and I will show you how to create the variables and few certain things which you have to remember while you're dealing with variables, right? So let's understand few basic things and the generic things about variables in any programming language. Okay, but of course, as I'm using code.org or CodeStudio, definitely I will be using JavaScript in this, right? So the example which I'm going to give you will be in JavaScript, but that doesn't really mean that the variable rules and all are not applicable for the other languages, right? So almost most of the languages will have almost similar kind of a rule while you're creating variables, and the things how to use variables and all will be mostly similar. Okay, of course syntaxes will differ, and not only syntaxes, these things like so if I have to tell you like the semantic may be the same, okay, but syntaxes should definitely differ. Like in JavaScript we use keywords like var, okay, and in Python you never use a keyword for creating a variable. So it's something like that, but variable will remain always a variable only. Okay, so I'm just clicking on this game lab to start off writing the program. Like we'll get some interface here where we can actually start writing the code. So that's why I'm using this interface. It's nothing like we only have to use GameLab to write the code. You can use Applab also to write the code. It's up to you. Okay. But the thing is, I'm just gonna write text today. Okay. Don't worry. Why am I getting into text? Is this will be more easy for me to actually write the things, right? So that's how, and I'm just increasing the font size so that you can actually see this clearly, right? I'll just close the toolbox because I'm not really gonna use any of the blocks today. And yeah, let's start off with variables session now. So variables is like it's first let me just define this variables for you. Okay, variable is a container or a placeholder, right, which can hold or store some value in it. Okay, let me. So in JavaScript, you will be writing comments using two forward slashes. This we have seen in our previous sessions also in the Applab series. If you have not checked that, please go and check that out. Okay, so variable is something. Variable is a container. Okay, it's like a box or a container or a memory space, we can say. Okay, which can which can hold or store some value in it. Okay, right? So variable is a container which can hold or store some value in it. It is a memory space. Okay, it is a memory space. It is a memory space which is created. Okay, where you can actually store the value, and you can change the values in variable. Okay, you can also change values in a variable, right? So you can also change the values in a variable, and it's just like a container which can store some value in it, right? So variable, right? It can be varied. Okay, so it's not like a constant you're doing this. It can be varied. Okay, yeah, there are few constant variables also. You can use const keyword to create constant variables also, right? But yes, generally a variable is nothing but something which can hold a value in it. So it can be text value, okay? It can be a numeric value, number, right? So it can be a boolean value, okay? So it can be a float value, I mean to say decimals, right? Like 2.3, 1.2, something like that, okay? So it can hold float values, it can hold booleans, numbers, text, it can hold arrays, it can hold lists, okay? So don't worry about arrays, lists, and all. While we're discussing the programming concepts, some other day I will be discussing about these things also again, okay? So it can store image, right? It can store audio file, it can store videos, and many more like this. Okay, it's not like limited to something, right? One value can definitely be stored in a variable. Okay, a variable can store single value in it, right? Single value in it, which can be varied again, which can be changed based on the requirement. Okay, so this is how it is, right? And the next thing is like so we can say how to declare a variable, right? So variable declaration is the next important thing. Variable declaration, right? How to do variable declaration in JavaScript. Okay, so using var keyword you will be creating a variable. Okay, var and let's suppose I want to give my name. Okay, so then I will write the variable name as name itself. Okay, you can give any meaningful name um, as a variable name, right? So these are called as identifiers basically. So this is called as a variable name or identifier, right? So in the name identifier, we can store our name or whatever the value you want, right? So always it is a good programming practice to give a meaningful name, right? To give a meaningful name is it's recommended to give a meaningful name, and it's not compulsory, and it's not a mandate which you have to really follow, right? But yes, this is recommended. Okay, now, so the next thing, this is called as variable declaration only. Okay, var name is I'm just declaring a variable called name, but yet I have not assigned any value to it. Okay, it doesn't have any value now. It's just allocating the space, but it really did not store anything. Okay, to actually give some value, right? Now I would just like to give some value to my name. So this is called as assignment. Okay, value assignment or value assignment, something like that. Okay, assigning a value to a variable, you can say, right? So I'm giving name equal to, so let's suppose I want to give Folks Hub, right? So yeah, this is it. Okay, now, I have given a name to my, I have given a value to my name variable, name identifier now. Okay. So this is called as declaration. This eighth line is called as declaration, and this 11th line is called as value assignment. Okay. Now we can do both of them in a single line also, which is called as declaration come initialization. Okay, so variable declaration and initialization. Okay, how to do that? So use the same keyword var. Okay, and let's suppose I want to now give age. Okay, so age, and then I would like to give the age as 25, right? I want to initialize it with this one. Yes, this is also accepted. Okay, so always it's again recommended to actually declare and initialize, because it will actually start off with some value, right? Variable should always start off with a value where, again, if you want to change this, we can absolutely do that in our program based on the requirement, correct? So that's why this is a good practice again. Okay, and this is also not wrong, right? This is correct. And after that you can actually assign the value. This is also correct, right? So if you want to do it at the initial, I mean, declaration part itself, so this is also correct. Okay, variable declaration and initialization, both we are doing in the same line, right? Now if you want to assign age some other value, okay, you can give that, no problem. You can write age equals to 26. You can actually change it again and again whenever you want. That's absolutely up to you. Okay, now, so let me just print these things. Console.log we have already used this. If you have not seen my previous videos, please do go back and check. Okay, so, and then I'm just doing the string concatenation over here, right? Console.log is a statement which is used to log something on the console, right? And we have name plus age. I'm just using plus operator here to concatenate both the variables, right? So name is a variable and age is a variable, which I'm concatenating here, right? So now let's just click on run to check the output. So you can see Folks Hub and 26. It's coming in the same line just because I've concatenated them. I've joined them, right? Okay, if you want to have a space between them, you can do that using the same plus operator again. Okay, so what I will do, I'll just give a space in between, right? So now let's click on reset and run it again. You can see Folks Hub is the name and age is 26, right? So this is how it is gonna be. Okay, so you can like you can see, I have not declared, I mean, I've declared it here, but I have not initialized any value here. But still I've assigned some value over here that is considered inside this name variable now. Okay, I have declared and initialized the value also, but still I have changed the value, so the updated value is coming as the output, right? So this is what you have to understand here. Okay, this is very much important, because the initialized value will not be the thing always, right? It can change, and we are using variables for changing the values itself. It's not like we are wanting it to be constant always, right? So this is how it is. Okay, and variables have some rules. While actually, if you want to give the variable name, that means the identifier, so then you have a few rules for it. Okay, a variable name cannot have these kind of symbols. Okay, it can't have any special characters, right? So special characters are not allowed in variable names, are not allowed in variable names. Okay, this is very important for anyone to understand here. And the next thing can be like, you can use numbers in variable names. Okay, numbers are allowed in variable names, but you can't start a variable name with a number. Okay, this is one thing. And then so you can use underscores. You can use underscores in variable names. Okay, this is accepted, right? And always using a meaningful name, which is recommended. I told you already, right? So this is absolutely recommended. and always start a variable name with a, this is not a rule, the one which I'm going to write now is not a rule, right? So it's just recommended thing. Okay, variable names should start with a small letter. Okay, this is something which is recommended, and it's not a hard and fast rule to do. Okay, so and using camel casing is also something which is recommended. Okay, it's not a hard and fast rule, right? So like using camel casing is recommended. So what is camel casing, which is again very important for you to understand, right? Camel casing is nothing but first word, if you have two words in a variable, first word will be in smaller case, okay, and the second word, or the rest of the words, how many ever words are there, so the rest of the words will be starting with a capital letter. Okay, for example, for example, you can say it's just like this. Let's suppose I want to write first name as my variable name. Okay, so I will write the first word in smaller case. Okay, the second word will be starting with a capital letter. Okay, that means name should start off with a capital letter, and this is called as camel casing. Okay, so this is how we do the camel casing. Using camel casing for variable names and function names is recommended always. Okay, so this is again not a hard and fast rule, right? And JavaScript is a language which is case sensitive. Okay, so what do I mean by case sensitive? It's like, for example, if I write first as my variable name like this, and if I write first as my variable name like this, okay, so both are not same. Okay, so both are not same, right? So this first is different, okay, and this first is different, right? Why they are different? Just because it is case sensitive. Okay, JavaScript language is case sensitive, right? So this will be considered as some other thing, this will be considered as some other thing. Okay, and actually, why am I telling this? You have to start with a small letter, right? I told, did I not write that? Okay, no worries. I told you that we have to start with a small letter, right? Here I told you. So why am I recommending this is because class names will always start with a capital letter. So to avoid the confusion, right? So this is a good programming practice. Okay. So now let's also see and understand how you can give different values to your variable, right? So assigning values, right? Assigning values to your variable. So you can use var keyword to create a variable. Okay, first thing, var, let, and const. These three keywords you can use in JavaScript to create a variable. Okay, assigning values thing. So let's understand this one. So here, now let's suppose I'm creating a variable called as name one. Okay, already I've created name there, so that's why I'm using this one. So I'm just initializing this with Folx Hub only. Okay, this is text variable. Okay, this is text variable, text var, right? And now I'm creating another variable called is age one. Okay, and I'm just writing 25. Okay, what is this? This is a numeric variable. Okay, and now let's write percentage. And I'm writing 95.25%. Okay. So this is a float variable. Okay. That means it has a decimal value in it, right? And what next? We have We can actually, this is a string variable also. Okay, you can say string, right? And we can also use character variable, right? So character variable is nothing but, let's suppose characters equals to, within quotes itself you have to always write strings and characters within quotes only, there's no other choice. Okay, so I'm initializing it with a character, a, only one single character is there, that's why it is a char variable. Okay, it's not like you have all these data types, but these are different variable assignments which you can do. Okay, and then there's a boolean variable. Okay, so if I say booly, okay, don't get me wrong, and now I say true, so this is a boolean variable. Okay, so boolean variable will only have two values, right? True and false. Okay, so only two values will be there for boolean variables, right? And what type of values can be there? Arrays, right? You can create arrays, like I told you the other day. Arrays are the special type of variables, right? So let's suppose I will write array 1, and you just write some values in here. Let's suppose folks, some number, some decimal. Yeah, you can actually do all these things, right? So this is an array. You can give arrays also, and you, this is also a list, you can say, right? So all these things you can actually do in a variable, right? You can store a image URL. Okay, you can store audio file URL, right? So you can store image URL, audio file URL, video file URL, right? And any other thing like this, right? Multiple things are there which you can do. Okay, so now what is the difference between var and let? Okay, so difference between var and let, var and let. So it's something which is very important for you to understand again. Okay, so var and let are the two keywords which are used to create variables only. First thing, okay, and var is something when you're actually declaring it with some type, right? You can't really change that type. Okay, so var, I will execute this and show you. I'll just write something like var x equals to 10, x equal to hub. Let's write this. Okay, so console dot, oh sorry, console dot log x. Let's reset and run. You can see it is printing hub, right? So there was no issue while you were printing the x variable value, right? This was a numeric type. I changed it to string type, but nothing happened. It was, sorry, it is actually giving the output, right? So now what I will do something similar. Let y equal to 20, y equal to folks, console.log y. Okay, now let's try and print some. You can see it is giving the error over here. What is the error? So it is saying unexpected token, syntax error, something like this over here, right? So why? Because I declared it as a numeric type variable, and I'm changing the type of the variable, which is not allowed. Okay, in variables it's not really allowed while you're using a let thing. So this has a block scope basically, let, and var has like a global scope. Okay. So there are again scopes thing, which is a concept in programming. Scope is nothing but there are two types of scopes, local scope and global scope. Local scope is nothing but which is restricting itself, or the availability of the variable will be within that particular block wherever you are writing or declaring that variable. Okay. Global scope is something where you can declare a variable on top and you can use it anywhere in your program. Okay. So you can see where you can declare it with something, you can assign some other value and change the type of that variable. Nothing happens, right? Your program actually accepts it, and it actually gives you the output also. But using let, you can't really do that. This is not something which is acceptable. Okay. So this is it, right? This is the difference between var and let. Okay. So if you're declaring it like this, you have to, again you can actually do this one, like instead of folks, if you write 30, this is acceptable only. Okay. So you will see it will give the output now. Sorry, what happened? Console.log y. Okay, I'll just reload the page, don't worry. It just got stuck there only. Yeah. There is something, console.log y. Am I writing something different or new over here? Let's do this and let's run it and check. There's something wrong in this line. What? I don't find anything over here. Just so yeah, the page actually got stuck. Yes. Again, we're back. So when you just click on run, it actually executes the thing, whatever we were displaying, right? So this was all about variables. Okay. So we have understood what is a variable, how to use a variable, how to give values to it, right? How, what are the rules? What are some rules which we can do? What are some things, few things which are recommended to be done, right? And yeah, there are these things which we can do on a variable. Okay. So this is about variable, and it was a very simple session where you can understand about variables. Okay. If you have not been watching my previous videos yet, please do go back to my channel, open playlist Applab, and then you can also see the playlist games, and then you can now check out my new playlist which I'm going to create today, which is programming concepts. Okay. So please do watch all of these. If you have any questions, you can absolutely comment in the comment box below and do let me know. Okay. So until then, I will be meeting you all in my next video. Okay. Bye bye, guys, and have a great day, all. Thank you so much for watching.